weekend, man. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy said he got his swagger back, man. We've been almost actually. I feel like we've been pretty protective of Brock Purdy. I think all of us have been like, either this is who he is or he is going through a rough patch. I don't think any of us really like lost our shit on Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy last night, nice win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock went 19 for 22, had 315 yards passing, threw for 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and had a perfect 158.3 passer rating, and he's the first Niners quarterback to do this since Steve Young. Steve Young and the second best quarterback that ever lived, Joe Montana, were also in the same range, man. I think for Brock, this is big. And the reason I say it's big is because I feel a lot of people, I'm not going to not include myself before Mikey says you too. A lot of people, include myself, we're not buying what people were selling when it came to Brock Purdy over this last year. But I think this dude is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's a championship quarterback. I don't know if he's going to do these things in the playoffs. But I think he's a good quarterback, and he's making the most out of Kyle Shanahan's system. We can sit up here and say, oh, they have all these different weapons. That's fine. Why didn't Jimmy G do that? Like, why wasn't Jimmy G playing as well as Brock Purdy? We all know that Jimmy G went to the Super Bowl with this team, but that was mainly that defense. It was mainly that running game. If you remember in that NFC Championship game, I don't even think Jimmy G threw the ball 9 times in that particular game. So I think what we're seeing from Brock Purdy is a guy who went through a rough stretch through the last couple of weeks, and he's bounced back these last 2 games. And that's for if you're San Francisco, you're feeling really good about that because you're starting to get your guys healthy. Debo's back. You just got Brandon Ayuk is like taking it to another level this year. He's like becoming Debo's equal damn near. You still got George Kittle, and defensively, it's hard to score on these guys. To me, they're top 3 defense in this NFL. Not as scary as Cleveland. Cleveland's defense scares the shit out of me. Like them old school Bear defenses, but they've got something going on. And as long as Brock Purdy is playing as well as he can, it's gonna be hard to see somebody outside of the Niners coming out of the North, I mean of the West, man. I'm gonna go to Bang first. Which you like from the way Brock Purdy has bounced back?
It's good. I'll say that it's good when you get everybody healthy back. Debo back, Trent Williams back, so you ain't getting touched. So I think if somebody like him, you need everybody around you to make you better. I'm not saying that Brock Purdy is not him, because I said to you on this show that I think that he's probably a top 10, top 15 quarterback. But like you just put on that screen, that's the Trent Williams effect. That man right there is cold, and he ain't going to let nobody touch Brock Purdy. So as long as you got them and he's healthy, that team's going to be okay. So, get him back, and that's what happened.
Mikey, you've been a disciple of Brocktober since it started. What you feeling about Purdy bouncing back?
I think it was a perfect recipe. If you were paying attention, if the guys were paying attention, everybody was paying attention to our breakdowns last week. I said that the Buccaneers allow the 7th most big plays to quarterbacks through the passing game. They allow the most yardage to quarterbacks in the passing game. So it was the perfect script for Brock to get right after a tough stretch. I think he is a solid quarterback. I mean, he played in a big conference in the Big 12. He had some big moments. Obviously, he never really won nothing. Was never highly regarded as like a Trevor Lawrence or a Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields, some of the bigger name college guys that came out in the last couple of years. But for a 7th round pick, it's expected to go through growing pains. But we're seeing what the Shanahan system can do for a quarterback like that with talent that just needs a little bit of seasoning, just needs a little bit of tweaks to his game. So they have an explosive offense. I know they lost another key player yesterday on defense in their safety. He got his fucking ACL juked out of the stadium. But I think the Niners are in a good spot as anybody in the NFC.
Dante, what's your take on Mr. Purdy?
Yeah, bro. I think everybody said it pretty well. He's in a great system with a great coach, and he's been coached up, and his talent is taking over. And so this is what happens when you have an offense full of the weapons that they have, and that's why you're better served to just have as many weapons as possible around your young quarterback, as opposed to getting a young quarterback and trying to force them to make shit happen. And so, with Purdy being, like you said, the last man, Mr. Irrelevant, he's been coached up since day one by Kyle Shanahan, and he's taken to that offense, and with those weapons around him, He just has to execute. I know that's easier said than done. We all know how difficult the quarterback position is, but he executes the offense damn near to perfection. And like you said, Trent Williams, that matters, bro. Like they always it's old school, and I don't like a lot of old school sayings, but the game is really won in the trenches. So if you solid up front, your quarterback can sit back there and actually run the offense with some consistency, and that's what Purdy's been able to do. And now that everybody's back healthy, it's just a matter. I agree. I think the Niners are the best team in the NFC.
That paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna